Okay, now this flanking maneuver is actually a two-parter. Okay, there's two elements that we haven't introduced in the other flanks. Shay touched on it a little bit. Veron has been playing into it from his experience already, but these were the elements that kind of shined a light that there are aspects of flanking maneuvers that as a company we have not addressed up to this point. And I think they really can elevate that flank. Okay, the first thing that's going to happen is how this flanking maneuver works is at the end of the line, the last three fighters, actually I'm going to use, you guys have been the example. Okay, you guys, Danaskal over here, you three are essentially a cavalry squad. You're a trio. You're going to work together on this, okay? How this maneuver works is that when I call, or when the commander calls a flank right, Blaze and Veron's job is to 45 Blight quickly, okay? Just a 45. It's not like going around, it's just 45 him. Danaskal's job here, though, is to be the hero and step in where Blaze is leaving behind, and essentially 2-on-1.
One on two.
1-on-2. Danaskal's job is to take these guys on and keep them busy so that these two can do the work. Okay? And as soon as they get him, they can immediately turn in on Jacob and move on and help their buddy out. Desperation is required because Danaskal is taking one for the team. These guys gotta act, or they're gonna leave their friend out to dry. Okay? But they can't. Danaskal has to be tenacious to make sure Jacob can't turn on Blaze. Right? Okay, so that's how it's going to work, and then it steamrolls. Suddenly, we're not looking for a zip. We are not looking for a zip in this maneuver. What we're looking for is a snowball, a cascading effect. Blight dies, Blaze turns in, 2-on-1s with Danaskal, turns in, and the whole while you are still going to be coming in and forcing all that attention to be turned so that the rest of the line can stay alive a little bit longer. Does that make sense?
That's like 10 teams.
Okay. Now the second part. Up until now, the flanking maneuver is set to be here at the end of the line. The entire time we've been watching, the entire line essentially is there waiting and just kind of like, oh, the right flank is doing their thing, we're just going to be there. The left flank is doing their thing, we're just going to be there. Hoping and praying that it works out and that their team kind of comes out on top. In this flanking maneuver, that does not go, that does not fly. Jake over here is the beginning of the rest of the line. When I say flank right, everyone other than the squad presses into the line with all their might. Right? You're not trying to bowl them over. You're trying to keep their attention on you. So if they don't pay attention to you, they will die. It's not taking blades. It's not fiddle-faddling around. You press the line. Does everyone understand what I mean when I say press the line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make noise.
That's what I do.
You got
I am
the
big
key
and
to this
scary.
maneuver is that the entire line is taking the attention of the rest of the line for that moment for the flanking cavalry squad to do their work. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you hear the flank and you're not the cavalry, you go as a unit. Okay? All good?
Are we going to talk about when you break the line?
Yeah.
So like so naturally as you're being flanked, the I don't even know how to describe this. Team A is flanking, Team B is dying. Okay. So as Team B is falling back and they're dying, they're curling around and they're dying. There's going to be breaks in their line, gaps. Okay. That's a potential for a new flank. So if there's a gap, you can push through and start a new flank and push it down.
So that's a cut. We'll talk about that in just a second.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Sorry. I'm
Okay,
getting
no,
ahead
you're
of
good.
myself.
Okay. Now, one thing that's going to happen is you may feel like Veron over there, all of a sudden Blight and Blaze. Jeez. I love it. William.
Do you?
William.
All right. Easy there.
Ezra.
Veron is going to be tempted to be like, oh, it's not my responsibility anymore. I'm going to leave. Okay? You can't do that. You've got to stick with your unit. You got to stick together because at any point, someone may fall. Jacob might be able to get Blaze. He might be able to get Naskell. The people that are falling behind, you're coming with that flanking momentum to fill in. Just like we do when we're fighting kill pockets, just like when we're breaking down wall of swords. The rest of the team is coming behind you to fill in and maintain that momentum. It's not an individual's job to keep the flank going. It's the whole team's job. So stay with it. Fill in. Keep it going. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Damien?
Okay, so I would suggest on this one, just so we can see a really good example, that we don't do the reses on this one,
Okay.
that we just do single life.
Okay.
So we can kind of watch and then we do multiple of them if we need to.
Okay.
But I'd rather see the effect without the reses coming into play.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
One life, step back. We don't have to finish the whole fight. We'll call a hold. We're going to just alternate. This time, let's see who attacked last time. Damien's line is going to be attacking first, and then once we call a hold, we'll reset in the Shays and we'll bounce back and forth a few times.
Love to have newcomers.
Line up on Shay. We're too far back. Valtana's good.
Oh, seriously? Oh gosh, I'm so jealous. I've only ever been out of country once, and it was Mexico, so it's like you barely get it.
Swords up! Swords up! Swords up! Ready? Leon!
Yes, contact!
Okay, just whenever you come here, if you get on the band, can you just let me know when you're coming so you can get a lesson ready for you? I can do that, so I'd love to have you guys again.
Guys, push him now, push him! Push him forward, push him forward! Push him, give him a push, give him a push! Good! Build the gap, push him!
Hey, fall in! You guys, fall in!
Okay,
Fall in!
if you have an opening, go for it!
Hey, hold! Hold! Reset!
No, that was a lot of my fault. I didn't explain it right.
I hate your little fishy shot. It goes around my guard every time.
Oh.
It's something.
I love you.
Say, you're going to be better
Hey.
in your life. So this is the fourth profession. That's probably something.
I don't even like.
You'll have to name it after me. Remember what I said. Again, this is not a critique. We're working on this. This is the big one that we want to work on.
I just saw that my current
When the flanking maneuver is happening,
rotary machine. So I'm like, I might
saw
have to
a line over here kind of wondering what to do because we ended up falling behind. Right? Slow down.
I'm gonna have some more water.
Fill in. Fill in the gaps. You're right. Our good guy is in step in their place.
Draconic, I think is what
Right there, right behind them, ready
I
to
don't know
go.
what kind of draconic, because I googled draconic and a billion different things from it.
Stick
So
with where the spot
I had to guess most of
rolling the
it.
line. Okay? Roll is through.
All I know is it's Zing and it's draconic.
Okay? Does that make sense? We are going to be attacking. Okay? Yes, we're attacking. Shift left. Shift left.
What's up?
Ready. That's the contact.
Contact! Contact! Ooh, lots of cowboys over here. Ah, good!
Keep going. Keep going. Don't worry about me. You are new Hey, we're gonna reset. Purple line, you're attacking.
Don't forget, as this fighting is going, after you've been fighting for a long time, it's easier and easier to get in a heavier and harder shot. Make sure take a few deep breaths. You're feeling cooler right before the fight. Okay.
Jacob, over here. Over here.
We are attacking.
attacking us. Green line is defending, purple line attacking. Ready? Leon!
Leon, advance to contact.
Okay, wait for them, wait for them, wait for them.
Sure you're gapping here. Flank right, go, flank right, head him down, flank right.
Dead!
No res again. All right.
Okay, hold! Okay, reset.
Good. Very pretty in the center of the line. Well done.
Remember, if you die, back up out of the fight so you're not in the way.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
All right, we're gonna do it 2 more times. Okay, either.
One more time, just one more time, guys. Yeah.
Okay, or do you guys want to do a cut? You guys want to learn a cut?
Let's keep it to this one.
A cut is still the same thing as an internal.
Not that kind of cut.
Okay, we'll do
We could. I don't know, maybe
game. This is the last one. Green line is going to attack.
And I agree with the same in what's about to happen right now.
Okay, now that you're no longer
I
flank,
kind of
my
like
ammo is
prop my
going to
elbows up on my rib cage and just do it
You're no
like
longer cavalry right here. I'm going to put you right here next.
I mean, I probably would like to
Are you ready?
Okay, swords up. Okay, ready. And Leon, pass the contact. Pass the contact. Pass the contact.
Going, keep on maneuvering. Call out the
All right.
shots, call out your opponent.
Left flank, go.
Maneuver, go.
Dead.
Dead. Go in, come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. All right, purple line, do you want to attack? Or are you done? All right, we've done 3. No, never done.
when we did all of those Keen and Shay were captains.
Hey,
Like all of
come on in.
you had different colored lines, right?
Oh my gosh, you want me to show you all my... I think there's merit
You're right.
to a lot of this. Again, if you have a really strong cavalry unit on the end of it, it can really make a difference. Especially if you're like, this is my cavalry unit, their job is just to roll the line. I like the concept because it changes the game. Exactly one of the problems we've been having, which is flanking maneuver an infantry move or a cavalry move? And it's what I would say is a cavalry move inside an infantry. And I kind of like it because it does exactly that. It utilizes that cavalry at what they're good at, exactly what it's supposed to do right there. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's really interesting, and I think we really should be playing with this and looking at it. Stuff like that. So that's one of the things, thoughts. There's a lot that my brain's still trying to
No, you're good.
with
All right,
too.
Shay.
Yeah. So it worked so good because that entire line understood to fold in on it, and you saw how fast it went. As soon as you overpowered them, it just collapsed. It was awesome. I'm a fan.
Yes, Jake.
So, I like the idea of the, kind of team in, because on Green's first cane flank, we technically killed the flank. Like the 2 that flanked the Tractor 45 died.
Did they really?
Yeah, but then Athel just kept going in,
Yeah.
and then the flank kept going, and then we died. So, like, yeah, it even if the initial 45 doesn't work, that momentum can still keep going in flank as long as people keep filling in and stabbing.
Yes, Sultana.
And with that, because of everyone on the line, you hear flank, you see a flank happening, push in. That energy is very easily transferred if you see something go wrong. You're very easily just cut it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think to like answer the question of like, is the flank the infantry or a cavalry, I think King's variation makes it an infantry movement, because what really does help is like when everyone starts to push in, and that's infantry. So.
And, okay, so I want you guys to hear what he just said there, because I think that's really important. What Thane was talking about is the idea that everyone moved in during the flanking maneuver really gives it gives the flank an extra advantage that everybody's pushing, the entire line locks up at that point, instead of just kind of like everyone just in contact kind of going for shots, where you can assess and watch the fight. So this is one of the reasons why I'm actually interested in that concept itself, is that just adding to the other maneuvers we've never done before. So just the idea of when we do a flank, a press and then a flank, and I don't want to say it creates 1,000 more questions, but it is a really good question. So thank you, Thane, on that. And it does, and in that maneuver, I hope that you guys felt the difference of a strong press and then a flank.
So one of the things that I think like towards the ending of the execution can still be improved upon, because it felt like just all broke loose.
And this is, Damien actually called it before the last one. That's you're transitioning from a flanking maneuver to rolling the line. The better your team can do the flank to start to initialize the breaking of that line, and then you transition to rolling the line, which is that continued pressure together. That I think will tighten it up. Because I agree, but I think what helps is, even though it went into Scotland rules, we're all together, and I remember like, hey, like that's the spot we're gonna keep hitting, and we're gonna keep hitting and keep hitting and keep hitting and filling in. So I agree, it got a little chaotic.
Especially if you have a cavalry unit that's on the back there that can keep that objective, especially if the two of you are locked together. This is why it's sometimes really good to lock yourself with someone. In a cavalry, in line, we're all kind of like, hey, you know who's on either side of you. But in cavalry, it's like, okay, Kane's like, okay, you're with me. We've just done this. You're now still with me, and we're still moving and stuff. Instead of it kind of being like, oh, we did, yeah, we broke the flank. Woohoo, that's good. Oh crap, the fight's still going. You know, it's better to have it where they're like, no, we have a cavalry unit. We're still hitting that. We're still hitting the anvil. You know, so.
Yes, or Belcana, and Rosen.
And with how it's going, you may have a bunch of people maybe a little chaotic, but it's the same essentially premise as if you were thinking like, well, sorry, you have a bunch of people, that way if anything happens, you can fill in really quickly, because the best way to stop a zip is kill the momentum and then just kill it immediately. But when you have that group of people immediately fill in, you just keep the zip going until you get the whole line.
That was super fun, actually.
It was very nice.
Okay, Rosen?
So the hard part that I'm is like the vision,
Yes.
right? When I'm on the flank, when like once we started moving in, it's like, okay, at this point, I don't know, I can't even see the colors at this point. I don't know who's on my team. I don't want to stab through so much. It's like, it gets really chaotic, and it's hard to see like where my team is compared to the other. Maybe
No. They're all valid comments. This is why we as a company, we can tighten up and learn from this. All right, Thane, then Didascal, and then Blaze. And then we'll cut it there, and then we'll
Keep
be done.
the conversations
yes,
going
please
afterwards.
keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I noticed that I was guilty of was a reverse cowboy, which if you're attacking, if you're defending, if you reverse cowboy, you allow the people in front of you to get killed. And that's not good for any side. So I think as an infantry, it's just like, yeah, don't cowboy, but also don't reverse cowboy.
Okay.
So I feel like the third guy, there was no way he could take the two people, because the guy on the end would step back, and then the other guy would step back, and then like I would have to take 5 steps for every one that the other guy took, so I couldn't.
You couldn't do what I told you to do.
Yeah, I couldn't catch him.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
Good call.
I realized as well. I started telling like the two people there. They're like the next two people are going in, and so I agree. I think that's an element that we do have to switch on.
Okay, to Rosen's point about tuning cooks in the kitchen, when I'm in some sort of flank like this, if I can see a target, it's like, cool, I'm gonna kill. So that very last one is just like bam, bam, bam. There are times when I'm like you, too many cooks in the kitchen, so I step back, right? I know I've got like Varon's gonna go massacre everyone.
But if he dies,
Doesn't need me in that moment. I step back so I can see now. All right, cool. I'm ready to fill in if he dies, but now I'm not in his way. And when we're in a real melee where it's not one life, cool. I'm ready to support here. I'm also ready to support here. I don't step out if there's kills in front of me. If I'm actively engaged, that's my job. But the second that I'm no longer useful on that front line, I'm stepping off, giving room so that I can be more effective. There's no point in rushing headlong and just being another body in the fray.
All right. Again, keep the conversations going. Please go get water. We're gonna be done with that. Please talk. Yeah, drop off scarves.
Hey, yeah, give scars to me before you like